So the only two I haven't pressed on is this one. So the steak?
Yes!
Something about the steak? Is there more information about the steak? He was unable to eat, you say? And that was because he had just had a tooth removed at Hada Clinic, correct? That's right. You're supposed to actually check with the witness before answering. Was Miss Brett aware of that fact? It seems so, yes. She'd heard the professor was to have some dental treatment. So that would mean that it was you who ate the steak pictured here. Is that right, Miss Brett? That's right, yes. The print you have there shows the table exactly as it was left after the horrifying events. Exactly as it was left? Dear me, what a harrowing experience. To have traveled to a distant island on the far side of the world and be embroiled in such a tragic incident. Have no fear, my dear lady. I swear I will crush the evil fiend that has subjected you to this terrible plight. Oh my god, simp levels are up the charts! So the victim, Dr. Wilson, had nothing to eat or drink at all. That's right. Other than some carbonated water. Just water? Yes, the professor was unable to eat, but he had been given permission to drink water. So it appears that the diners toasted their lunch with a glass of water each. They each raised a glass of carbonated water. Then why is there only one glass of water at the table? What do you think, Ryunosuke? About the witness's last statement? It's very meaningful. That last statement of yours, Miss Brett, has a profound bearing on this case. Well, well, how fascinating. Do tell us, what is this profound bearing, The significance of the statement will become apparent when the time is right. The defense calls for the witness's last statement to be formally added to the testimony. Well sidestepped, counsel. Sidestepped? Well sidestepped. Sidestep. Fuck. I like that. Kindly repeat what you just said to be added to your official testimony. Gladly, she said. That was brilliant, Kazuma. I'm gonna remember that one. Which one? Oh my god, we're not even an hour in. How am I already, like, my mouth is getting fucking tongue-tied. The significance will become apparent when the time is right. I could really use that phrase. I'd hope there are some more useful tips you're picking up from this experience than that, Ryunosuke. Alright. I ordered a beefsteak for myself, and the professor and I said cheers over a glass of carbonated water. Oh yeah? Then why is there only one glass of water? Barbie Beach Adventure, okay. You know, as warranted as it is, I don't need the sass right now. That's it. Let me just confirm something, please. It's to do with this photographic print. Just a short while ago, you spoke of this print showing the victim's table at the crime scene. That it was exactly as it was left. That is correct, the lady says. Well, it's odd. Very odd. Dear me, what's odd is the defense's inability to express itself. Ryunosuke, what is it about the print that looks odd to you? Well, obviously, it's the cheers! The cheers? Miss Brett just told us that she and the professor said cheers over a glass of water. But if that's true, There should be 2 glasses on the table, not 1. Ah. Uh-huh. You're quite right, Counsel. There's only 1 glass pictured.
Objection!
Are we supposed to be impressed by this nitpicking over minutiae?
Are you serious? That's all fucking reason we're here!
What possible difference does the presence or absence of a glass make on the case?
Objection!
Minutia, you say? Could it be that the detective is here removed a glass from the table to conceal the lady's presence? Of course not. I would never do something so reckless. Which means she must have taken it. But there should have been 2 glasses on the table. Or are you going to try to tell me you can clink with only 1? Something's dragging on too much. Yeah, I mean, that's just the thing with these games. It's true. Like, they go over with a fine-toothed comb. It's not, I will say, it is not quite as bad as much as I love the Danganronpa games, that is one where they will go over every detail, like, 4 times over. It's just like, it's like, there are moments in Danganronpa where I'm just like, all right, we get it! You're quite right. I certainly took 2 glasses from the table, to the table. Inspector, what did the lady say? It would seem that it was Miss Brett who took the glass from the table. What? It was all so terrifying, everything that happened. I panicked and thought I should try to hide the fact that I'd been there at all, she's saying. Good gracious!
Sorry?
Oh my god. I know I committed perjury and, you know, tampered with evidence, but I think we can look the other way. No, you're going to jail.
There, as I assured the court before, this is of no consequence at all.
Oh, please. That's what I'm saying. Oh, please.
We must remember that the student has just murdered this lady's luncheon companion right before her eyes. Who could blame her for concealing a glass or 2 in her state of disarray?
But here's the question. How'd she conceal it? If she got nowhere to hide, if she can't hide a gun, she can't hide a cup. That's what I'm saying. Whoops. Open the evidence menu. That's absurd.
Oh, really? So do we take it that you are now going to accuse this vulnerable, young, and beautiful woman of mischief?
You know, the mischief of murdering people. What? No. This can't be put down to mischief. I'd like to know exactly how the lady took the glass from the scene. That's what I'm saying, Kazuma. On point right now. It would seem that she slipped it into a small handbag she was carrying. Handbag! Can't hide a gun, my ass! A handbag, you say? Yes, Your Excellency. A small handheld pouch commonly carried by well-to-do women in England.
So, the beautiful lady has very graciously explained how and why she removed the glass from the scene now. However, the fact remains that this glass has absolutely no bearing on the case, but the handbag does. This student has been trying to confuse the court with logical reasoning.
Oh my god, okay. The fact that like, that's obviously, that's parody, right? That's satire. That is a satirical statement. Like, obviously it's genuine in the context of the game, but like, that's clearly supposed to be funny. The fact that I could see someone in real life saying that is depressing. I could genuinely see someone in real life saying, "You're just trying to confuse me with your logical reasoning."
But in the end, it comes to nothing.
God.
No more pretentious accusations. You've wasted enough time already.
Indeed, the lady has offered a satisfactory explanation as to why she removed this glass. I think henceforth we can consider the matter to have no bearing on the case. Counsel for the defense, are you in agreement?
No! No!
Well, I don't know, really. If you want to pursue this matter further, you're going to need to show that it has some deeper significance.
Yes, you're right.
Oh, no, wait. I gave him the wrong voice. Yes, you're right. So she took the glass away in her handbag. There's a deeper significance there. It's the handbag. Wait, the lady put the glass in her handbag, you say?
Yes, do try to keep up. It's already been explained to the court that all English gentlewomen carry handbags for small items, like a gun!
Let me see. A little while ago, Miss Brett stated the following. There are no pockets in my outfit. I have nowhere to hide a gun. But what she forgot to mention was her handbag, in which it would be perfectly possible to conceal a gun. You're right. My God, we're all stupid. It's Ace Attorney. It's just how it be. Well done, partner. I had a feeling you'd pick up on that too.
What are you insinuating, you vile blackguard?
It's really very simple. You're so fast. The bitch is crazy. She killed the guy. Case closed. Let's get lunch. I got so. The gunshot was heard when the defendant picked up the gun from the restaurant floor. As he didn't fire the gun, we can deduce there must have been another firearm at the scene. The true murder weapon, if you will.
You can't seriously be suggesting...
Inspector Hosonaga. Yes? Did you or did you not search Miss Giselle Brett's handbag on the day of the murder? No, sir. I did not. I'm really fucking bad at my job. Your one job, dude! You have one job! The fuck are you doing? I never thought I would say this, but, like, this guy makes Gumshoe look like a fucking master detective. Like, genuinely. That's unbelievable. As I thought. In other words, another gun, the one that was actually used to kill the professor, could have been hidden in Miss Brett's handbag. Order, order, order!
What is the meaning of this, Inspector?
The meaning of what, Prosecutor Ouchie?
Why on earth did you not have the lady open her handbag and show you the contents at the time? Thanks to your bungling incompetence, that's what I'm saying. Now she has to endure these uncomfortable accusations.
Brilliant work, partner. Now we have a chance to expose the real woman behind the mask. Do you think so, Kazuma? Can we get this guy to, like, a doctor? Okay, yeah, I feel bad for, like, ragging on him. Like, maybe send somebody who isn't dying. I don't know if he's dying. I don't know. What is his deal? Gumshoe's a good guy. That's what I'm saying. Yeah, oh, don't get me wrong. Gumshoe's the best. He's, like, my favorite character in Ace Attorney. A competent detective is not how I would, describe him occupationally. I feel like maybe competent as a bare minimum is how I describe him. Well, what a sorry situation. Clearly you have no faith in the police. You've given us no reason to! Oh? As I said, I did not search the lady's handbag after the shooting. Simply because it was unnecessary. Unnecessary in what way? I ought to thank the student lawyer, really. I have a piece of evidence here that I had completely forgotten about. You're not making yourself look better here. I am the chief inspector. Oh, you know what? My bad. I forgot. I have a piece of evidence in my pocket. I forgot to share with everybody. Thanks for reminding me, bro. Dude. This photographic print. This print is of a photograph that I thought it would be prudent to take immediately after the shooting. As you can see, it clearly shows Miss Brett's handbag. Well, I never. So when he said he didn't search the handbag, he was just being a cheeky douchebag? Like, he could have just said, I saw the contents. You could just say that. Like, oh my god. Well, I never. He's tampering with evidence so hard. That's what I'm saying. He's like out of control. You can see right through to what's inside. Also, is that like on the professor's hand? Is that a birthmark or a sick tat? looks like a bull with the horns. No, it's right. Apparently, meshwork bags like these are the height of fashion in London at the moment. So the contents are clearly visible. Exactly. So there was no need to search the lady's handbag. If there had been a gun inside, it would have been immediately obvious. Ah! As you can see, there's nothing to imply Miss Brett's guilt here. I'm telling you, search the hat. Look under the hat. Thank you for helping to prove that, Naruhodo-san. Order, order! Inspector Hosonaga, you will submit that print as evidence at once, like you should have done at the beginning of the fucking trial! Certainly, Your Excellency. The graph of the handbag has been entered in the court record. Cool. I think you've had long enough to cross-examine the witness, counsel. The court has now been shown considerable evidence. As the photographic print just submitted into the court record appears to have no further significance, I am satisfied that there is no longer any room for doubt in this matter, and I must make my ruling.
Indeed, and there is only one logical conclusion. That is, the pathetic rookie slumped over the bench before us is the only possible perpetrator of this crime.
No. No. Just when I thought I was beginning to turn things around. I'm in a worse situation than I was at the start. No, Kazuma too? Kazuma? I'm sorry, Ryunosuke. Now that the cross-examination of the witness is over, there's no way to force the trial to continue. What? You mean this is it?
I must say, you put up quite a fight for a rookie student. But the weak are meat while the strong eat.
Cannibalism, I guess.
You are wasting your time. There's no way to defeat true justice. A fact you can chew on to your heart's content from the inside of your cell.
This can't be happening. Am I really going to be found guilty of a crime that I didn't commit? And Kazuma, his dream of going to study in Great Britain will slip through his fingers. Kazuma, what? Is there really no chance now of turning this trial around? You heard the judge. There's nothing about that last photograph the detective produced that we can contest. Which means there's no basis on which we can argue for the trial to continue. Hold on, let me take a look at this picture. I feel like it's gotta have something to do with this, right? Like, whatever the fuck this is. Is that like, that's the only other thing of note. And it's pretty, like, specific. Surely there's something about that means something. I don't know. Very well. I will now proceed immediately to the ruling.
It seems we'll be able to report to the British government on time after all.
That smug little... Ryunosuke Naruhodo, having considered all of the evidence placed before me...
Yes!
Wait, Your Excellency! Ryunosuke? I don't think you can rule on this case yet.
Objection!
Back to her, not facing her. Really? I think this was after the crime. I don't think she was sitting in this seat, but yeah. One thing that is interesting is, like, I assume this was taken, like, why is his chair facing away from and the fact that the stake is on this side, it's all kinds of weird. Like yeah, I don't understand, like, how they were placed.
This amateurishness is getting tedious. When His Excellency deems that the trial is over, he gives his ruling. That is the most basic protocol of the courtroom.
Yes!
Your Excellency, just a moment ago you said this. As the photographic print just submitted appears to have no further significance, there is no longer any room for doubt in this matter, and I must make my ruling. Now that means if there was a problem with the evidence, some significant detail, I mean, then ruling on the case at this time would be out of the question.
Objection!
This is blatant straw clutching. Look at this photographic print. All it shows is the handbag the gentlewoman was carrying on the day in question. There could be no problem with this evidence.
That's not all it shows. It also shows some weird mark on the victim's hand. Which, I mean, you know, I guess. You better know what you're doing, Ryunosuke. I understand your objection, counsel. Certainly, this new evidence submitted by the detective has not undergone the court's scrutiny. However, I fail to see how we can glean any new information from this handbag.
Yeah, my thoughts exactly.
Skipping the bullshit mistake she did. Yeah, I mean, that's the thing, right? Like, a lot of pretty much most of the Ace Attorney games, like, the cases start out with you knowing exactly who did it, right? This one didn't, but, like, the first case in the first game, it's like you literally know at the beginning who did it. It's just a matter of, like, getting to the proving of it.
Really, the prosecution is becoming tired of this rookie's desperate wheezes.
Yes, I am desperate, but this isn't a wheeze. There's something about this photograph which just doesn't seem right. If only I could put my finger on it. Very well, I will grant the defense one final opportunity. Huh?
What?
But be warned that if I am unsatisfied by your response here, the trial will be over with immediate effect. Do I make myself clear? I'm going to beat you to death with my gavel. Yes, Your Excellency. So, take another look at this photographic print Inspector Hosonaga submitted before. You will identify for the court where in this print we see the significant detail to which you have alluded. I mean, like, this, it's, I don't see how it's relevant yet, but it's weird, right? Let's talk about it for a while.
Yes!
Look at this here. Look at this I was just about to make a fucking Nickelback reference. There's a very unusual mark on the victim's wrist. That is true. It looks almost like a burn of some description.
Attention!
Dear me, I was pondering what new piffle you would come out with. A burn, you say, on the victim's wrist? Clearly that has nothing whatsoever to do with the magnificent lady's handbag.
Yes, that is a burn mark, you're right. Go on, Inspector. The police coroner also noticed it when he was performing the post-mortem examination. It was deemed unrelated to the cause of death, so he didn't note it in his report.
What did I tell you? In any case, we have no idea when the victim suffered this burn, do we? And no possible way of knowing either.
The more I look at it, the more I find myself intrigued by the curious shape of this mark. However, as Prosecutor Ouchie points out, unless a firm connection to the case can be shown, I cannot allow any further time to be spent on the precise details of this burn. Is there anything else in the evidence that is shaped like that? I don't think so. Fork. The steak thing! It's the steak thing! The steak plate. The hot plate. Excuse me, Your Excellency. It would seem Miss Brett has a lunch appointment with the dean and the other university staff. Well, too fucking bad! Cancel, bitch! She would like to know if she may be excused from the stand now. Ooh, is she nervous?
No, of course, dear lady. We shan't hold you up any longer. I'm quite sure His Excellency is about to give his final ruling anyway.
What's your thinking on this, Ryunosuke? Do you believe this burn does have something to do with the case? To be honest, I'm not really sure. But if I don't keep pushing, then it's all over. So I was thinking I should keep digging and digging, in the hope that I might uncover something useful. Yes, you're right.
I am?
If we can just link that burn to this case. If we can do that, we might be able to prise this shutting door back open again.
Just give up, Counsel. You can't possibly hope to do that.
Indeed. I'm afraid without evidence, I can't allow you to pursue what is little more than conjecture. If we had evidence that irrefutably linked the burn on the victim's wrist to the case, then you would allow it? I would, yes. To tell the truth, I hadn't noticed that burn. But as soon as you pointed it out, what I did notice was the color draining from Miss Brett's face. Really? I have to find some link between that burn and this case.
I found it.
This is the moment of truth. It's time to find some evidence that proves what that burn really means. So then, the defense will now present its evidence to the court. The evidence that demonstrates an inextricable connection between the victim's burn and this trial. Take that! What's this, Counsel? Yet another print? Yes, Your Excellency. I believe photographic prints are an amazing invention. When we humans look at a scene, we miss things. But in a photograph, things we may have overlooked at the time are recorded forevermore.
Do hurry up, Rookie. What are you trying to say? To inconvenience this poor lady any further really would be quite inexcusable.
Actually, we may need you to stay with us a little longer if you don't mind, Miss Brett. You see, it's very clearly visible in this other photograph. How did the victim come to have that unusually shaped burn on his wrist? The reason is recorded here forevermore. What? How?
Objection!
I don't know, guys. Use your fucking eyes.
You can't fool me with your little bluffs, boy. If that's your game, then let's see how it plays out. Show the court exactly what you mean. What is it in this photograph that explains the reason for the victim's burn? Why, it's this, the hot plate for the steak. Take that. The beefsteak?
Actually, the point is the metal plate the steak was served on. The plate. Ah! Ah!
Your Excellency, are you alright?
As you can see, there's an emblem on the plate. I would guess it's some sort of trademark of Le Carnival. Oh! This emblem on the plate, I thought it was the other guy, and the victim's burn are exactly the same shape.
Ah!
I need to give one of these characters a Hank Hill voice so I can go, whoa! Ryunosuke, you genius! You're spot on. Which means the victim must have suffered this burn while he was present at the restaurant. Hell yeah.
Objection!
Fucking hat. I can't get over the hat.
But even if that is the case, we can't know if it happened on the day in question or not. It could have been the day before, or the day before that. It most likely happened at some other, unrelated time.
Well,
Objection!
Yo, Kazuma. Sadly, Prosecutor Ouchi, the chances of that are extremely slim. Thanks.
Why?
The outline of the burn is clearly discernible. Such a serious injury would have caused quite a commotion in the restaurant. Wouldn't you agree, Inspector Hosonaga? I can't imagine having missed such a terrible disaster, certainly.
But...
Oh my god. I would say, looking at the picture of the wound, that it wasn't suffered very long ago. And although it's not a particularly large burn, it's extremely well defined, as the defense just pointed out. This was no mild burn, that's for sure. Can you be more specific, Inspector? Well, let's see. If the plate was at around 90 degrees centigrade, a burn like that would have taken around 3 seconds. Jesus. It's inconceivable that the victim wouldn't have let out a scream of pain then. I've been investigating at the restaurant for several weeks already, but I've not heard anyone scream at all. As the head waiter of Le Carnival, I can testify to that without hesitation.
But you're a detective, not a waiter!
But he's been acting as a waiter, so shut the fuck up! There you have it. Something isn't right here. As the detective said, anyone who burnt themselves on a piping hot plate for 3 whole seconds would scream in pain. There's no question of that. And yet Inspector Hosonaga never heard the professor scream. Not on that day, or any before it. And that's right, and the strange thing is, on the day he was shot, I didn't hear him cry out either. What are you suggesting? Well, if the professor had carelessly laid his wrist on the plate for anything like 3 seconds that day, that would be beyond careless, I think, Counsel. Then the rest of us in the restaurant, myself, the sergeant, and the old antiques dealer, all of us would, without any question, have heard him scream. Wouldn't you agree, Prosecutor Ouchi?
Well, yes, I suppose.
So the question is, why didn't a single person hear Dr. Wilson scream? Huh? I almost don't believe it. Ryunosuke, do you think— yeah, he was already dead! Can it really be true? I never dreamed we'd arrive at a conclusion like this, but I'm starting to think that maybe— We've been led into a terrible trap. Yeah, I assume that's why it's shaped like a bowl, because it's like steak, beef, steak, cow, beef, steak. There's only one explanation I can think of to make sense of this apparent impossibility. On the day in question, when he suffered the burn to his wrist, Dr. Wilson was already deceased. No man could remain silent while his wrist was burning on a piping hot plate for 3 whole seconds. That's clearly impossible, apart from in one particular situation. Counsel, are you suggesting? Yes, it's only possible if the man was already dead.
Already?
Dead? Oh. Knowing what we know now, it's the only possible explanation. When the beefsteak was brought to Dr. Wilson's table that day, the professor was already dead.
That's madness!
Order, order, order! Please, counsel, explain this absurd notion at once! The victim was killed by a gunshot!
That's right. That's absolutely right, Your Excellency. This is just another ridiculous ploy by the rookie student, but clearly he has no grasp of the facts.
Objection!
No, Prosecutor Ouchie, it's you who has no grasp of the facts. I beg your pardon. As soon as it became apparent that the victim had suffered the burn while at the restaurant, this whole case was turned upside down. Or have you not grasped that yet?
This is much.
Your Excellency, the court must hear from the witness again. If it's true, as we now believe, the victim was already dead before the gunshot was heard, it's highly likely that Miss Brett knows something about it. Incredible. I certainly didn't anticipate this twist of events. I'm sorry to say, Miss Brett, that you will have to forget your luncheon engagement.
But, Your Excellency, she'll never want to date me now! I was going to be her knight in shining armor!
The justice system in our country may be in its infancy, but rest assured, all reasonable doubt must be dispelled before I am prepared to pass judgment. Thank you, Your Excellency.